What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Grimlock channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day. So this is my tier list for the patch 11.1. We're looking forward to the AWC coming up this week. That will really kind of lead into what the meta is more like for Season 2 of the War Within. But for right now, this is my opinion on what is really, really good and what is really, really bad. Nothing is too bad, don't be afraid, but there are some really, really good specs out there right now. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to get into why they're good. I hope you are all having a fantastic day. And again, if you like the video, please make sure to drop a like, leave a sub, and also write a comment down below. It means the world to me. I respond to each and every one of you, and I hope you have a good one. Alrighty, guys, so to get right into it, this is my tier list. I have S, A, B, C, and really, really bad tier. Nothing crazy is going to go into really, really bad tier. I'll probably put the tanks there just because this, again, is arena specific. But I will say, just starting off the rip, Prop Pally is probably the best of the tanks, followed by maybe Blood DK. And then you have like things like this and this and this. Yeah, so outside of that, yeah, those are the tanks for PvP, but I really don't think they have that much play on the arena scene, and we probably won't see a single one in the AWC this weekend. So either way, let's get right into it. We got Arms Warrior. Arms Warriors are doing pretty good right now. I wouldn't say they're the best. They are pretty solid. They're definitely not S tier. They may be low A tier, but I'm going to place them in B tier for now. The reason why is because I feel like their burst damage is super preventable at a high level. It's really easy to kind of crush people at a low level as Arms Warrior. So if you're playing at, like, you know, anywhere from like 16 to maybe 1900 range, Arms Warrior is pretty good. It's really solid. You know, you just be kind of cranking out people. But once you get to the higher levels, it's really easy to kind of deal with things like Demolish and also like just disarm their burst go or stun their burst go. So there's a lot of ways to deal with Arms Warrior. Their burst windows are super small and super tight, in my opinion. They don't last a long time. So yeah, that's why I'm placing them B tier. I think Fury is a little bit better than Arms Warrior, but still maybe not as good as some of the things on this list as we go and progress through. Fury Warrior is really good. It does have the highest mortal strike in the game, which is really good. But it always does. But it does pretty good damage. I think Fury is a little bit better than Arms Warrior. They're both pretty good, but I wouldn't say they're the best. And the other thing is they play really well with Frost Mage right now, and Frost Mage is disgusting. So that helps them. You know, anything like that helps kind of solidify their spot. They're also a really good cleave healer. They also have KFC as a composition, so playing with like a hunter is really good right now. I can see something like Fury Warrior Marksmanship Hunter doing really well, but I can't imagine it being anywhere close to as good as our S tier specs, which we're actually coming up on relatively soon. I will say Asa Rogue here is not S tier in my opinion. I think it's high A tier, like high A tier. I don't think it's S tier though. It seems like it has some faults, and I don't think its damage is as bursty as something like a Sub or an Outlaw Rogue. Outlaw Rogue just has insane tempo and constant, consistent pressure, whereas Sub Rogue has like ridiculous burst windows, but their burst windows seem to happen so frequently now. It's like, you know, if they get off their dances and you don't CC the shadow dance properly, they almost like build like a amount, almost like the same amount of shadow dance that you lose. It's crazy. It's like you lose a charge, you gain a charge. It's like they just constantly have CDR. So yeah, so it's Asa Rogue, I think, is high A, not quite S tier. I will say Asa Rogue Warlock is probably insanely disgusting coming this week because we're getting 4-set guaranteed for PvPers this week, and Warlock's 4-set is very good. So I could see Asa Rogue Warlock making pretty big moves this week, moving into 3v3 arenas, at least for pushing ladder ranking. But okay, moving on to Sub Rogue. This is going to be my first S tier spec. I think Sub Rogue is really, really strong. It has kind of like no weaknesses right now. Nothing is too prominent where it makes Sub Rogue look bad. It does ridiculous damage in its burst goes. I've I've seen eviscerates hit in a single global for over 4 mil. Not the eviscerate itself, but it has like coup de grace, and coup de grace on top of the eviscerate is just like, you know, you hit for like a 2.7 eviscerate, and then the coup de grace hits for like a 1.3 mil, and then like sometimes it's like an extra 400 randomly. I don't know. It's weird how it works, but I don't play sub rogue, so I don't exactly understand the ability, but I do know they do ridiculous burst damage, and they have really fast goes. So like almost every single time you're off stun DR, it's like kind of scary. And Shadow Blades is obviously the scariest cooldown, but every Shadow Dance even is almost like super dangerous depending on what they're playing with. I mean, a good sub rogue could play with something like a Marksmanship Hunter or a Frost Mage, even a Boomkin, and do ridiculously well right now. So I think sub rogue is definitely our first S tier, followed by Outlaw. I think Outlaw is definitely S tier as well. People are underrating it in my opinion. It's really good. I don't think people really think of Outlaw as a really good spec because it's not represented very well outside of like EU. I think in EU Outlaw is played a lot, but in NA it's not played that much. But it is very good if it's played by the proper players and the, like, you know, like the high rated players, for instance. I mean, if you get an Outlaw rogue that's like 1800 in a shuffle, they're probably going to not make the best moves, and they're probably not going to do the best damage because there's a very specific damage rotation that you have to pull off to make Outlaw very strong. And it's something that you have to practice, which is something that's completely understandable. But yeah, the higher rated you go on Rogue, the way better the class becomes. Very high skill ceiling class. Now looking at Marksmanship Hunter, this class is actually pretty disgusting right now. I'm not going to lie. I think it's above Asa Rogue. I know it's like underrated, and I know like a lot of people may not put it in A tier because it's I don't know why they wouldn't put it in A tier. It's actually disgusting. You can sit mid map and out damage pretty much any cloth wearer. Actually, you can out damage every cloth wearer in the game, and yeah, it just shreds all the casters in the game. And then the problem is like the plate wearer melee DPS in the game aren't good enough to kind of tank it, so even those get kind of shredded. And if you're playing against a plate wearer, you can actually go the Shadow Ranger tree, and Black Arrow does like 5.6 mil damage randomly on a proc too, and that does magic damage, so it goes through like armor, which is normally what Marks is bad into, is like high armor, like heavy physical damage reduction. So you can actually switch up your build depending on what you're playing against as a Marksmanship Hunter and do really well either way. So I swear it's insane. Survival, I'm going to put it in C tier. I don't think it's bad. To put it in perspective, even though it's C tier, I think Survival is actually pretty good. But for some reason, Survival just has this like low representation in all of WoW. But it's kind of easily counterable. There's not a lot of guides out there on it besides like Big Mex. I know Jellybeans used to play Survival a good amount, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, you know, I don't think it's that well represented, so it's really hard to get a take on how good it is, and it's really hard because we don't play into it a lot. I know Flanking Strike kind of got hit with like a fat nerf, so they don't really do like insane one-shot damage anymore, but yeah, I think Survival is definitely C tier. It has okay comps to play right now. Like I guess you could play like a Survival jungle cleave, but playing a melee cleave right now sounds really difficult. Just in general, there's a lot of classes that out cleave you, like a Windwalker would destroy, I feel like, a Survival jungle cleave, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, yeah, either way. Moving on to BM. BM's a really easy range DPS, so if you're getting into the game and you want to learn like how to play PvP at its core and you don't really care about what you're playing, or even if you do care about what you're playing and you just like pet classes, BM's definitely the class for you. It's super easy to get into, super easy to do damage with. You don't really have to worry too much about positioning with it. You can play on a pillar, you can play in the middle of the open. Doesn't matter, you just kind of shred everything in sight. So I'm actually going to place BM above Warrior. I don't think it's A tier. It is really good, but I don't think it's A tier good. Maybe low A tier. It could be really low A tier. I'm going to take a look at the list once I'm done building everything and see where I can place it, but it's pretty good. I will say, I think Hunters in general have really good defensives with like Roar Sacrifice, Exhilaration, Survival of the Fittest, Turtle, Feign Death, all that kind of stuff. So all the Hunter specs are relatively okay, but yeah, they don't have a lot of comps outside of like Cupid, maybe KFC, and like Jungle. Realistically, I think those are like probably their best comps in the game right now, and yeah, nothing's too great. I think Jungle is probably their best comp in the game, but either way, moving on, we have Demon Hunter, Havoc Demon Hunter, pretty good spec. I'm not gonna lie. I actually think it's really underrated. I'm gonna place it in A tier. I think it does a lot of burst damage. You just don't see him a lot, but yeah, it is low key pretty good. I actually hope back in Dragonflight there was a team called Hulabang on EU, and they played Demon Hunter Rogue. They also played Demon Hunter Windwalker, and they also played Windwalker Rogue. And I actually would love to see them play Demon Hunter Windwalker right now. I swear that comp has disgusting kill potential. So hopefully on the EU side of things in the AWC, we can see some of that. That would be really cool. Or at least see how they do. Oh, I completely forgot about Guardian. Yeah, Guardian's trash. But yeah, Havoc Demon Hunter I think is really good. It's just like anything, it can die in stuns and stuff. So Sub Rogues being really good, it's very scary for a Demon Hunter. But if you're a very good Demon Hunter, you can like Vengeful Retreat a Sub Rogue's Dance and then peel it with like Imprison and stuff like that. But they have a decent amount of crowd control. They also have Darkness, which is a ridiculously good cooldown. It is counterable, but it is a good cooldown nonetheless. So yeah, I mean, I think Demon Hunter is pretty solid pickup. Feral, this is probably the best melee spec in the game in my opinion right now. I think Ferals are disgusting. They do unreal levels of damage, and they're actually very tanky. If you can pre-bear form like most goes, you're going to be able to live pretty long. So yeah, I think Feral is definitely up there. Definitely belongs in S tier for sure. They have some ridiculous stuff right now. And on top of that, they also have Clone, which I mean, Clone is great, obviously. Clone is like the best crowd control. One of the best crowd controls in the game. It is a little nerfed from like last expansion and stuff, but yeah, Feral's pretty good. Restoration Druid, so this is our first healer on the list. I think Restoration Druid is not bad. People are putting it kind of low on the list, but I think once 4-set hits, some EU Restoration Druids are saying it's the best healer in the game. I don't think it is, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen. I definitely think it's a solid B tier, though. Maybe like above Arms Warrior level of B tier, or like Fury Warrior. Yeah, I think it's definitely like mid B tier. For healers, it's pretty good, you know. I mean, it's pretty solid as a healer in general. I do know that Resto Druid has ridiculous mana consumption in the sense that like it can stay above in mana a lot of the times, especially if you're a Night Elf and you can go for drinks a lot. If you can Shadow Meld Prowl Drink and stuff like that, very good for Restoration Druid. But yeah, I think Resto Druid is pretty good, pretty solid pick. We have Boomkin. Boomkin is very good right now. I'd borderline put Boomkin almost S tier, but I think it's actually A tier, high A tier. Boomkin's very underrated. It does really solid damage, has really good crowd control, has root beams still, obviously. It has 2 charges of Incarn, which is really nasty. Its Star Surges hit for like stupid numbers, like sometimes like 1.6, 2 mil. And that's like every half global, basically. You're just pressing a Star Surge, so it's pretty nasty. On top of your dots rolling. And Boomkin just came off of a couple of buffs, so that's really solid for them. So I think Boomkin's going to be good. Also, they're getting their Frenzy Regen rebuff, so instead of it being nerfed by 35% in PvP, it's going to have its full effectiveness in PvP again, which is a huge survivability buff. Like, you'll be able to go and bear every 30 seconds in Frenzy Regen and basically heal yourself for like 40% of your health or something like that. It's really good. So yeah, that'll be pretty solid. I think Boomy Sub Rogue will see play. I think DH Boomy will see play. But yeah, those are probably the 2 comps you'll see play in the AWC this weekend. We got Frost DK. Frost DK isn't as bad as people think. I think it's very predictable, and you need to like play properly around the goes as Frost DK. They have 1-minute goes. They have a really disgusting Remorseless Winter, which is really nice now. But I think I'm going to place it in C tier just because it's so counterable. Every single time I fought against a Frost DK, it's like if I'm playing a Shadow Priest, I fade and I avoid the Remorseless Winter entirely. If I'm playing my Warlock, I teleport, I avoid the Remorseless Winter entirely. If I'm playing my Elemental Shaman, I Gust of Wind and just get out of the Remorseless Winter. Sure, I can get gripped back, but there's ways for me to deal with it. It's just like, it's so easy to deal with a Frosty Case Burst. I mean, even my teammate could just disarm it every single like time. It's really easy to deal with a Frosty DK, in my opinion. Unholy DK. Now, Unholy DKs, a lot of the times you're playing against them right now, they don't have 4-set. Now, this week they're going to have 4-set, and 4-set buffs their Death Coil substantially. So they're going to be juicing damage. I think they're going to be very good. I'm going to actually place them above Arms Warrior. The only reason why I don't think they're like above that and like in A tier is because I'm not sure on how they feel survivability wise. Survivability on a DK is really hard, and it's really easy to bait out their cooldowns and then just kill them in like 2 goes, even 3 goes. It's really easy to kill a DK most of the time. Most DK games don't last more than like 3.5 minutes. So yeah, I think DKs are just too squishy for the meta right now. Especially in like, if you're thinking about like AWC, even if you lose to a DK team and you get to know what like team they're playing, if like say they pick a DK, you could probably go something stupid like Marksmanship Fury Warrior and just sit on the DK the whole game and just shred him. And there's just nothing the DK can do about it. So yeah, that's where I stand on DK. Devastation Evoker, super underrated. It has spam sleep now for free. You don't have to play Dreamwalker. I'm a Devastation player in general, so I mean Devastation I think is really good. Does really high burst damage. I will say, outside of its shield walls, you're kind of squishy, so you have to play really, really well around using your shield walls. You can't just like pop wall and just expect to live forever. Even though it seems that way because you have 2 charges of it and it's a 40% wall. But yeah, so I'm gonna put it in a high B, like here. I think it's better than Warrior. I think it's better than Warrior. I don't think it's as good as BM Hunter though, and just because it's range and the comps that are good right now, like Sub Rogue being really good and Feral being really good, is really scary. I will say Feral Devastation is a very good comp, so that's a benefit, but the range that you have to play at as a Devastation Evoker leaves you very vulnerable to a lot of the casters, and a lot of the casters are really good right now. Augmentation, getting a 15% buff. Augmentation also is getting its 4-set, which its 4-set is very strong. I'm going to put Augmentation equal with Devastation. I think they're pretty much on the same playing field. It just depends on how you want to play the game. Devastation is very high burst constantly, whereas Augmentation is kind of like more burst in short windows. You can spam eruptions. They have really good... They have 45-second cooldown stun now with... what is it? Upheaval and Landslide. I think you have a 45-second cooldown on Landslide if you play the right talents. So something like that. So you actually have a very consistent stun on Augmentation now, which is really nice. So yeah, Augmentation is really good. I don't think it's bad at all. I think right now it even does pretty good damage. I've seen like Eruption hit for like 1.4 mil, and that's getting buffed by 15%. So it could be hitting Eruptions for more than Star Surges, and they can cast an Eruption with the right build at like 0.6 like cast. So it's like a 0.6 second. So you can cast like 2 eruptions a second almost. Yeah, it's pretty high damage. It's pretty good. Definitely underrated. I think honestly, if I'm gonna be real, versus Resto Druid teams, playing something like a Marksmanship Hunter Augmentation Evoker or a Windwalker Augmentation Evoker or something really high burst like a Feral Druid Augmentation Evoker is absolutely going to destroy them, because you get the instant purge. You also get just super high damage burst windows, and anything that is already really good, Augmentation just buffs further. So it's really good in general. So yeah, moving on to Presvoker. I think Presvoker is okay. I think it's probably a little bit better than Resto Druid in my opinion right now. Like I said, I haven't seen Resto Druid really being played too much. I do know that the mana game is crazy, so if you can make the game last a long time, Resto Druid's really good. I'm gonna place Augmentation Evoker in high B tier. I won't place it in A tier. I think just the fact that you have to play in a range and they made it so that crowd control doesn't break immediately on damage is really bad for Presvoker. A lot of times Presvokers are playing around their Verdant Embrace. You can Verdant Embrace into like a Frozen Orb and break your own poly. That's how you had to play Pres, because you have a 25-yard range, 30-yard range. And so when you get polyed, it's super detrimental, because now you can technically Verdant Embrace into a Frozen Orb and it won't break the poly the whole time sometimes. So it's kind of crazy actually how big that CC change affected Presvoker. So I think with how heavily the crowd control is in the game right now, I don't see Presvoker being incredibly good. It can be okay though. And I will say Presvoker is also susceptible to dying because of its positioning having to be so aggressive. So it's really easy to swap to a Presvoker too. But moving on to Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin is okay. I play with a Holy Paladin most of the time. Whether he's playing Holy Paladin, he used to play Mystery Warrior, but whether he's playing Holy Paladin or Priest now, I think Holy Paladin's okay. I actually think it's probably one of the worst healers, but playing with him makes it seem really good. I mean, we play at like a pretty high MMR, and I don't really see too much issue. I'm going to place it slightly under Resto Druid. I actually swear it's not as good as he makes it look, but he makes it look good. So we'll put it there. A lot of B tiers this time around. But yeah, so definitely, I think Holy Paladin's okay. It has a lot of survivability, a lot of utility. I like Sack. Sack works really well versus the Mage meta right now with like Frost Mage being so apparent. The only problem is Priest is just so strong, and so with Priest being good, I feel like Paladin slightly gets screwed over because they can dispel things like Bop, they can dispel things like Spell Warding, they can dispel things like Bubble. You know, that kind of stuff sucks. But outside of that, yeah, they're okay. They're not bad. I think Holy Paladin's pretty good. All the healers right now are actually pretty okay. Rep Paladin is actually coming off some pretty decent buffs. I think their damage is actually okay now. It used to be kind of really low, but they still lack some crucial things that I think melee classes deserve. So I'm actually going to put them in like B tier, right above Devastation Evoker, I think. And I actually think I'm going to buff up Warrior. I swear Warrior's like here maybe. Actually, I'm going to place it above Aug. I think it's there. Yeah, that looks better. Sorry, not to get sidetracked. But yeah, Rep Paladin is pretty good. I think Rep Paladins does a significant amount of damage for the amount of utility they have. I think a lot of times Rep Paladins forget they have so much utility that like damage isn't everything for them. Even though it feels like I need to be the burstiest class in the game, they don't, because they have Sank, Bop, Spell Warding, Bubble. They have so much stuff. Lay on Hands, Sacrifice. Like, they have so much stuff. It's crazy. But either way, yeah, Rep Paladin's pretty good. I don't think it's terrible. Like I said, it's a little bad into things like RMP in my opinion, because you could bait out cooldowns really easily and then just kill like one go later in a smoke bomb and it's just over for the ret and there's nothing you can do. Moving on to Disc Priest, I think Discipline Priest is really good. I'm gonna actually put Discipline Priest in. I'm going to put it in S tier. I think it's the best healer in the game still. And hear me out. The reasoning is at a very high level, sometimes it doesn't matter how much healing you do. Like, Holy Priest does a crazy amount of raw healing. But sometimes you have to prevent damage altogether. And Discipline Priest is really good at doing that because it has 2 charges of Pain Sup. It also has Power Word Barrier. Some really crucial abilities like that. It also has Life Swap, which is pretty disgusting. So things like that. When you take into account things like that, that just avoid damage altogether, it's way better than just pumping raw healing, especially once dampening starts to set in really high and games start to last anywhere from like 5 to 8 minutes. If a game starts to last anywhere from like 5 to 8 minutes, Discipline Priest, I feel like, starts to shine. And its mana seems pretty good right now. So I would put Disc Priest in S tier. Usually the reason why Disc Priest is bad ever is because it just blows through its mana really fast. But I've seen Disc Priest easily last like anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes in a game, and they still have some mana left in the bank. So, yeah, I think Disc Priest is good. Holy Priest, I am actually going to put it in S tier as well. I think it's also very strong. The only reason why I think it's as strong as it is it just does so much raw healing output, and it has things like Guardian Spirit and Guardian Angel, where you like sit in angel form. Guardian Angel is really strong. You have Fade. You can defensively fear. You know, it's good. It has a lot of good utility. I will say Pain Suppression, in my opinion, is a far better cooldown than anything. Pain Suppression is probably one of the best defensive cooldowns in the game, in my opinion, just because it's so strong. Like, it's just so raw, and like you could just press it and be like, okay, that person's okay for the time being. I can sit this crowd control. Whereas a lot of healers, it's like, if I Guardian Spirit somebody and I get sat with the crowd control, there's a chance that they just kill through my Guardian Spirit if they have enough burst. So, yeah, that's super scary. Shadow Priest, very good. Shadow Priest, I'm going to place above Boomkin. Actually, I'm going to place it in S tier. I'm going to place it in S tier. I think it's really good. I'm confident in Shadow Priest. I think Shadow Priest could be seen a lot in the AWC this weekend as well. At a very high level, Shadow Priest is strong. At a low level, it's very tanky, but you have to be able to understand your spell schools. But yeah, Shadow Priest is really good. It's very tanky. Disperses a low cooldown for how much value it provides. You have Swap, you have MD, you have Life Grip, which is really good for avoiding things like traps. And jungle right now on the ladder is really prevalent, so you'll fight a lot of trap comps like jungle or Cupid. So yeah, I think Shadow Priest is really good. It also has some insane damage output. I'm not gonna lie. Even after I think it got a 3% overall nerf to its damage, still pumps. It still pumps pretty freaking hard. I mean, yeah, it's really good. Windwalker. I play with a Windwalker, and he's like one of the best ones in North America, in my opinion. I am going to place Windwalker above this. He's going to hate me for this, but I'm going to place it above Asa Rogue. I think it's really good. Definitely not as good as Outlaw or anything like that in S tier. I think it's under marks for me, and it's definitely really good. It does so much burst damage. The only problem with Windwalker is it can die through Karma, really. If you like heavily burst a Windwalker and he has no trinket, you can really kill a Windwalker like 100-0 very quickly. And versus sub-rogue teams, or like versus a lot of teams, there's times where if you don't have trinket, you're just dead on Windwalker if you don't get proper peels. So yeah, Windwalker is very hard to play because you have to know when they're going to go you, and you have to preemptively do things like you have to pre-wall or pre-karma, and sometimes even pre-walling or karmaing doesn't actually matter at all, which is really cool. So yeah, that's the only problem with it, but it does some of the highest burst damage in the game by far. And it has really good uptime, in my opinion, versus the classes that are good right now, like Shadow Priest or Rogue. So it's really easy to like actually play the game versus these classes. It has disarm, a ranged disarm, which is really good. So really solid peels. It has a physical in cap on like a 30-second cooldown. So paralyze is really good. So yeah, I'm going to place Windwalker in mid A tier. Moving on to Mistweaver. This is probably one of the lower tier healers, in my opinion. I think I'm going to place it here. I think I'm going to move Resto Druid up to here and place Prez here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I think Prez has potential. It's so hard. It's so hard to say. But yeah, it's hard to say. But I think Mistweaver is okay. I think it's worse than Holy Pally, though. I think it has some really good burst windows, but I've been seeing Venruki play Mistweaver a lot, and there's times where he's just like casting and stuff just dies through his casting and like through his cooldowns. Like it just doesn't have a crazy amount of raw healing potential. Life Cocoon is always a good cooldown, but versus things like Feral or Marksmanship and Sub Rogue, where they can just swap to a target, it's like, oh, that target's Life Cocoon, let me just Shadow Step swap to the Mistweaver and just kill him 100-0 in a single cheap shot. That's gonna happen. Like there's these things that like Mistweaver struggles with a lot. Destrolock, I've been playing a bunch of Destrolock lately. Destrolock feels really good. It has really high damage. Double Mortal Coil is nasty. But I will say it is incredibly hard to play at a high MMR. I'm playing around like 2.2, 2.3 MMR. I'm playing at like 2.4 MMR in Shuffle, and it's just like, oh my god, man. It's like pulling my hair out trying to get off Chaos Bolt and stuff. So a lot of times I'm Rain of Firing just to keep up my Blackened Soul proc. So yeah, I mean, it's good. It does a lot of damage. I don't think it's as good as the other specs of... I don't think it's as good as the other specs of Warlock right now, in my opinion. But I'm going to place it mid-B tier just because it plays really well with the things that are good right now, like Feral or Sub-Rogue or even Outlaw Rogue. It also plays really well with Shadow Priest. You can play Shadow Priest Destrolock and Shadow Play, and it's not bad right now. So, yeah, I think Destro's pretty good. Afflock is really good. I'm going to place it in high A tier. I think it does stupid amounts of damage, and it plays really well with Sub-Rogue and really well with Feral, two of the best classes in the game right now. So... yeah, I'm going to place Aff, and we're getting a 4-set, and 4-set for Afflock is disgusting. So yeah, Afflock is looking good. Afflock is looking crazy good. Looking at Demolock. Demolock is the only caster spec in the game that has an MS because it's built into their Felguard. Does really good damage, actually. Well, it does okay damage. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but I've seen Demon Bolt hit like 1.6 mil, so that's pretty good. Not bad. Not bad for an instant proc Demon Bolt for sure, and Hand of Gul'dan isn't bad. The only problem with Demolock is like if you get trained by 2 melee or like a hunter melee, it's going to be really hard for you to get any pressure going. I feel like you just have to really be concentrated on how good you are, like playing your spell schools. I feel like as a Demolock, if you're not playing around your spell schools a lot as a Demolock, you're going to struggle heavily. But I don't think it's that bad. I will place it under Destro, I think, and under Dev and under Warrior. Yeah, I'll probably place it here. I don't think it's that good. It's really good versus certain things and really bad versus other things. I will say it's actually really good into Sub-Rogue because you can peel while you're stunned. But really high-rated Sub-Rogues are going to CC your pet as well, or they'll just like evasion your pet and evasion the axe toss. So there's things like that you can do as Sub-Rogue, which you normally wouldn't be able to do. So yeah, I will say it's good into Sub-Rogue. It's good into like stealth classes most of the time because, like I said, you have a pet to deal with a lot of your stuff. But yeah, it's a little lacking in my opinion. Frost Mage, best caster in the game for sure. I'm gonna place it right here. I think it's definitely the best caster in the game. They have insane peels for themselves. crazy high damage goes, a little slightly less single target damage than a fire mage, just slightly during their peak damage goes, but it's still really good. I mean, it's like your damage is crazy high. I think Frostfire bolts are hitting anywhere from like 1.5 to like 2 mil a Frostfire bolt when you're bursting, and your Ice Lances hit for like 1 mil. So you're just like constantly doing mils worth of damage, and your Comet Storm summons a Meteor. When you have that go, it's pretty disgusting. So basically FMP, RMP is what I expect to see being played a lot. But yeah, Frost Mage is really good. Moving on to Arcane. Arcane is also really good. It does really, really high AoE damage. And Touch of the Magi can actually hit very hard if you stack it up, which is really cool. So I'm going to place Arcane above Windwalker. Yeah, I think that's valid. I will place it under Marksmanship Hunter just because people are underestimating how strong Marksmanship Hunter is. I swear on my life, it is so strong. You can hit literally 8 mil of somebody's health in a second and a half. Not even, maybe even like 0.7 seconds. There's some times where you get procs, and you could just aim shot, or like aim shot, kill shot, whatever. Like, they're just so nasty. But either way, talking about Arcane Mage, super high damage, super high survivability versus melee characters right now. If you're planning on grinding ladder and you're struggling as a caster versus melee, Arcane is really good for that. So is Frost. Frost is also really good just because you have things like Flurry, where like is an instant root, and you have Shimmer, Blink. You have like obviously Shimmer and Blink are the same thing. So like Shimmer, displacement, alter time. You can like alter time back, Shimmer again. You can then use like what is that Arcane thing where it like gives you your cooldowns back faster? I don't even remember. I've been playing Mage lately and I don't even know. But either way, like you can reset your cooldowns really fast. You have Ice Block. You have a lot of stuff. As Mage right now. Fire Mage is low-key really good. I've been watching. I mean, okay, all right. To be fair, it's really good versus like when you're really good at it. Like Calvish is the best Fire Mage in my opinion in North America right now. And it's really disgusting watching him play. It definitely has some of the highest single target burst in the game in very low windows. But yeah, I think Fire Mage is good. I'm going to place it under, though. I think I'm going to place it in B tier just because it's very hard. It's incredibly squishy, and like it's just like really hard to get your damage off if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing, you can set up a lot of damage very quickly on Fire Mage. So yeah, I'm going to place Fire Mage in high B tier. But Calvish makes it look like it's an S tier class all day. So shout out to him. Going into Shaman, we have Resto Shaman. Resto Shaman is really good. Resto Shaman's underrated. I think Resto Shaman's really good into things like casters, like Mage. It's also really good into things like Feral, because when they go to like, say they go to leap bash you into a cyclone, you can thunderstorm a lot of the times, or you can predictively like put down a grounding totem. Like there's things you can do, whereas other healers just don't have any option while they're in a stun. Shaman kind of does. And also you have passive healing with like Healing Stream, Healing Tide. Riptide is really good right now. NS Healing Wave or Healing Surge. I think Healing Wave does more healing, like raw, than a Healing Surge. But either way, both of them are very strong. So, yeah. I think Resto Shaman's really good right now. I'm going to actually place it in like mid-A tier. I'm going to place it mid-A tier. Resto Shaman's really good. It's really good versus a lot of the casters. It's also really good at peeling for its caster. So if you're playing like with a caster, so say you're playing something like Feral Lock Shaman or Feral Mage Shaman or Rogue Boomy Shaman or DH Boomy Shaman, like those are all very solid comps for the Shaman player. And like you have so much peeling you can do for your Boomkin. Like for instance, you can like Lightning Lasso into a Cyclone. It's so much easier to peel than just having to let your Druid get trained in bear form. It's like insane. But yeah, Resto Shaman is very good. Has a lot of utility. Enhancement Shaman, not great. I think it's okay. It does okay damage. It has pretty solid burst goes, but I'm actually going to place it like low. Like I think I'm going to place it under Arms Warrior. Well, for sure under Arms Warrior. I think it's going to go under Warlock, like that Demo Lock. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad per se, but I don't think it's great. It has really good utility. It has everything I just mentioned, like Grounding Totem, Wind Shear, Lasso, all that stuff. The problem is its damage just doesn't seem like crazy high. Where Elemental is shining, in my opinion. I've been playing a lot of Elemental Shaman lately, so this is kind of biased, but I swear Elemental Shaman is high A tier. It could even be S tier with the right composition. I swear Sub-Rogue Elemental Shaman could be disgusting. Even Feral Elemental Shaman could be really good. But yeah, it's very strong right now. Elemental Shaman's burst goes are crazy. I'm playing Windwalker Elemental Shaman, crazy high burst. Super excited to play more of that. But yeah, this is my tier list, I think, right now. And I honestly don't think I'm going to change anything. Everything looks pretty solid where it is. So yeah, let me know if you guys agree in the comments down below. I hope to see you guys soon. Again, if you liked the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and check out the AWC this weekend if you're a huge PvP fan. It definitely will help the community grow even more if you guys are watching it and boosting its viewership. So check it out, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.